Hello, everyone, and welcome back to No Cap Space. We are officially underway. The college season is here. Goodness, what a day. Uh, Luckily, the game I attended today ended up being one of the scariest of the entire day at Oklahoma. We're going to talk about that. But before we talk about that, one thing, I believe Shawnee is going to be joining me here. She was at the South Carolina game today, so she's making her way back and everything. But we have a lot to talk about today, and we'll hold off on South Carolina talk until presumably she gets on. But we got plenty to talk about as well. Of course, before we get into any of that, we got to talk about our friends here at Home Field, like this shirt right here, the Slam and Jam and Jayhawks college season. It's no more like, oh, it's on the way. Get your shirt now. No, it's here. It's here. Use code NOCAP15 to get 50% off your very first Home Field purchase. You can find the link to that down below in the description to the No Cap Space collection, where we personally curated all the best women's basketball stuff that Home Field has to offer. And I promise you, there is a whole bunch. As always, super chats get you on the screen. As always, become a YouTube member or go join us on NoCapSpaceWBB.com to gain access to the No Cap Space Discord. Ooh, buddy, where do we begin? I see that comment right there. Tyler, I know you were sweating today, so let's start with the game I got to attend. Oklahoma and Belmont. Oklahoma and Belmont. I was there in person. We had boots on the ground. The debut of Aaliyah Chavez, the highest ranked recruit in Oklahoma women's basketball history, was terrifying. I was terrified, to put it frank. Goodness gracious. Look, Belmont is no slouch. Like, if you are a true women's college basketball fan, you know that Belmont is not a team that is a slouch by any means of the imagination. And this is a team that, again, if you are opening up your season against Belmont, that is going to be scary every single time. By the way, Oklahoma's next game is against UCLA in Sacramento. So it gets a whole lot easier, luckily. But there was a lot of thoughts, frankly. One, and I think the most prevailing thought that I have from that game is Reagan Beers had 29 points in 27 minutes, right? And shot the ball 13 of 17, including like a pull up, like two. She had 4 misses in total. 2 of those were from 3. And she had one like transition pull up 3. It looked like Stewie out there. I was like, what in the world is going on? But the lack of creativity in terms of getting Reagan Beers the ball, and this is something that Jenny Baranchek talked about in the post game as well. The lack of creativity in figuring out the best ways to get Reagan Beers the ball was problematic, especially because Oklahoma shot 3 of 23 from 3-point range. I'm going to say that again. Oklahoma shot 3 of 23, 13% from 3-point range. And as all that was happening, Reagan Beers was just eating. The only player that truly was able to consistently give her the ball was her fellow big Beatrice Colleton, coming off the bench in the high-low scenarios that we've been seeing from Oklahoma for the longest time. Dating back like with Skylar Van and Maddie Williams, like those teams. But they won. And the fourth quarter especially, they locked in defensively because the defense in the first half, Belmont couldn't miss, and Oklahoma just felt like they were a step behind defensively a lot. The closeouts weren't great. They weren't chopping feet, they were jumping type situations, and Belmont made them pay a lot. And ultimately, that is not a good feeling knowing that UCLA is coming next. But let's talk about, obviously, the big debut, Aaliyah Chavez. Look, it's not hard to see the absolute star power that is like within Aaliyah Chavez game. Like that, it's not hard to see. She hit like a buzzer beater 3 going into halftime, and like it was all right there. She had step backs that she was hitting, and you're like, goodness. But And this is going to be what the most interesting thing about this season and how Oklahoma and Aaliyah Chavez fit together is that figuring out, and again, this is also something that Jay Baracha talked about in the post game, and it kind of ties into the Reagan Beers point, figuring out when to shoot. Because look, you bring Aaliyah Chavez in to get buckets, but she's also genuinely a good passer. Like she had some of I have a take later that we're workshopping, okay, but I got to take about her passing later. But figuring out the balance there, where Aaliyah Chavez plays the most minutes out of anybody, and this is not a deep team at all, which Oklahoma has been able to deploy in games in years past. It's not a deep team, and that's going to be something new. Like I don't know how many games Reagan Beers is even just going to play 27 minutes. And it's obviously different with the pace that Oklahoma plays with, but you're going to be asking these older players and Aaliyah Chavez to do a lot this year. I mean, 11 players on this roster, 5 of them being freshmen, 3 of them getting genuine minutes. That is what you're looking at with this Oklahoma roster this year. And figuring out the balance, Aaliyah Chavez goes 5 of 18, 1 of 8 from 3. Obviously, you want to see the threes fall. Like that is a massive part here, but nobody's threes were falling. You look down the list, Peyton Verhulst also 1 of 5 and only had 11 points, only 9 shot attempts on the night. And so you're trying to figure out, and obviously this is just game 1, you have to figure out the balance. And if Aaliyah Chavez is going to have the ball in her hands, as for very good reason she should, how do you find the balance between having Aaliyah Chavez be the scorer that you need her to be, but also being able to be a playmaker? Because I thought Oklahoma just in general fell in love with the 3. Aaliyah Chavez shot the most threes on the team by a pretty large margin. And I just simply think you have Reagan Beers. Like, I completely understand that you have Aaliyah Chavez and Peyton Verhulst as well, but you have Reagan Beers, who is one of the best bigs in the entire nation. The idea of not going inside out and having several times where you end up going one pass, one shot is not ideal in that way. So we're gonna see, like, admittedly, my confidence is a bit shaken from this game. I'm willing to admit that, and going into this UCLA game, and it becomes a thing of, is this the team? You know, again, this is game 1, and this is overreaction time, right? This is the time for it. I mean, look, this is to me a team that can make a Final Four. Like, that is the type of talent that is on this team. But again, when your defense has to be a lot of the basis of this, and you have to be able to shoot the 3 at a good volume, and you have to get the ball to Reagan Beers. And that was something that, and even Sahara Williams in the post up against smaller defenders, those were the things that started clicking in the fourth quarter. But goodness, there were some possessions that were just brutal, and it felt like you blink and Belmont had the ball back and we're running the other way. And against teams, I mean, obviously Belmont is not a bad team by any stretch of the imagination, but you do that against UCLA, I don't know what that score is going to end up like. And that's a week from today. So you have a week to figure. There's no game in between for Oklahoma. You have a week to figure this out, or UCLA is absolutely going to make you pay. I don't have any doubts about I fully believe UCLA to be locked in this season. I don't think that anyone's going to be sleepwalking on UCLA. And so I'm it's not ideal. It's not ideal, and not, frankly, how I expected Aaliyah Chavez's debut to go. And it's not like she played a bad game. I wouldn't deem it that by any means. She didn't play a world-beating game, but that's okay. But from a team perspective, this score, 84-67, does not reflect where this game was at. That does not reflect where this is at. Tyler, I can see the stress in your face. Yeah. It's about where we're at. It's about where we're at. I picked Oklahoma to finish 3rd in the SEC in my preseason poll. Look, I promise that was thought out and not done with bias, like genuine, like whole from the bottom of my heart. So with that, get it together a little bit. Let's get it together. We'll be here live after that UCLA game. It's gonna be, I think that game tips off at like 9:30 Central Time. And that staying up till damn near midnight just to look. Oklahoma could still win that game. I'm not pulling a fire alarm yet or anything like that. And even if they go and lose that game, that doesn't define what the season can be. But golly, there were a couple moments in this game where there was a level of frustration just in the inability to make life a little bit easier on themselves is how I would deem it. Let's talk about Paris. I believe Shawnee is on her way on right now as well. So we're going to talk some South Carolina when she gets here. Starting the season off, essentially, like I know there's a couple games before, but essentially starting the season off with Duke versus Baylor. Someone needs to be arrested. Yeah. No, I'll run with that. Because what are we? Ew. It feels like same old Duke. It feels like same old Duke in that. And that was not pretty. That was not good. Duke still didn't play offense. Not good. But guess who's here, y'all? Hello, friend. Hello.
How
are you?
Good. Great. Happy college season, everybody. I feel like we haven't been here in a while. Was the finals that long ago?
After being on every night for the WNBA playoffs, like this break has felt like it's the playoff-a-thon. Yeah. I just started talking about. Did you guys on Duke and Baylor today by chance?
I somehow was spared from that, thank God.
Oh, yes. Spared is the correct word. So I had just started on that.
You guys. So, I'm sorry. I got to reintroduce myself. I feel like, let's get acquainted. I know
it's been a minute. I
heard Duke and Baylor were having some sort of mid-off.
So let me break it down. Let me just like in my recap of the game, I'll give you the spark notes here, Shawnee. Duke bad on offense. Like in the same way, but like didn't even have like some like the bailout threes and shots like that they had last year, like when they were kind of cooking towards the end of the season. None of that. And it was bad. And actually, they probably hurt U.S. and French relations by having that game overseas. And to have that essentially open the NCAA season was criminal. And the one thing, though, I will say that was positive from that game is Tita Scott hooping in that second half. She ended the game, I think it was 19. Hello? Where's my... No, she had 24 points. She even did better than I thought. Like she was hooping. And look, I know we kind of discussed this very, very briefly in the chat. It's a little bit of put up or shut up time for Nikki Collin, it feels like, at Baylor. And like,
man, okay, so here's my thing. First, it sounds like when we keep sending the Jaguars to England for the NFL game.
Yes, that was like Duke going to France.
Europe is about to be like, hey.
Yeah, no, we are not growing the game like this. We cannot do this again. We already heard the matchups for next year in France: South Carolina, Maryland, and North Carolina, Oklahoma. Immediately better than this game. Just like there's no way. Like we had to give them something a little bit better, a little bit stronger than these.
That's what I'm saying. They're about to close their borders. Like please stop bringing American sports into our sacred nations. Like we do not want to see this. Like keep your football and your basketball. We got France. Yeah. We got Malongas at home.
Oh God. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. Yeah, no, they look like they were playing a different sport than Malonga does.
So to your point, and it's so funny that Nikki Collins was in the talks to be Dallas's next head coach, even briefly, because I was like, she ain't did nothing since she left Atlanta in the middle of the night to go to Baylor, and she's had the talent. And the thing is, she's got negative motion because like Little Paige Bugs was cooking, Asia Blackwell was cooking. Like those were some names that could have generated buzz around the program and like really bridge that gap post Mulkey.
Yeah,
y'all should have been better than what you were. So I don't know what's going on or what's happening, but it's like it's scary over there.
Yeah. So to that point, that's what makes this starting the season off with the win against Duke, who I don't know if they're the seventh best team in the nation with that offense, but it's on the resume now, and like it's stamped, it's there. The resume and the passport is stamped. And Tania Scott to me, in a lot of ways unlocks this team. I've been a Tania Scott stockholder. I mean, if you've been following her,
you said her name like 9 times already since I've been on this broadcast.
I'm a stockholder. I've been since she has faced injuries at Arkansas and then at Auburn, and like she was cooking the SEC, but just could not stay healthy. So then you go to the Big 12, and it's like, well, hold on now, the Big 12, and so like this, like in theory, this made a lot of sense, and frankly, just allows Baylor to play super fast with her. Like Little Paige Bugs can run the floor. Kirsten Johnson, transferred from Oklahoma to Baylor, started today, can run the floor. Like that's the type of players that you have here. And I think it just made the life a little easier, especially against Duke. Like whenever they would get a rebound and Duke would miss a shot, which happened a lot. They shot 20 of 69. And Baylor didn't shoot well either. They shot 20 of 63 for just a couple percent more. But it was so nasty, Shawnee. Oh my God. And like that producer Shawnee was texting in the season already before the first games even ended because of this game. But like to me, what's interesting, Shawnee, kind of to look at the bigger picture for what this season can kind of mean for Baylor, is that relatively speaking, since Oklahoma and Texas left the Big 12, like Iowa State last year fumbled the Big 12. They were supposed to be the top of that, and that season was an absolute roller coaster. And then TCU came out of nowhere with all the portal and Mark Campbell coming, and then took the Big 12. Well, hello. They ain't no cap space over there. I'll put it like that. And so the idea that like there's been, and even realistically, like when OU or Texas were still in, like those weren't like super dominant teams by any means where it's like, oh, you're going to pencil this team in to win the Big 12. And like they had degrees of success and everything, but to your point, in comparison to the Mulkey era and how it's transferred over, it hasn't. It feels like a completely different program in a way that Baylor frankly needed to avoid. It felt like, and now the opportunity is still there to kind of become that perennial powerhouse in the Big 12 again. It's just obviously different now.
Over Kansas's dead body. Absolutely not.
Come on now. Keeley Parks is on the way. Norman's own.
It's over.
Don't sleep.
And I actually kind of mean that. I feel like Kansas is like, I can't.
Make some stuff. No, trust. Samaya Nichols is on the way. You want to talk about people I got stocks in? That's one right there. But yeah, to me, like this is going to be a different Baylor team feel wise. I think they're going to play at a higher pace and whatnot. But yeah, this feels like an incredibly important season for Nikki Collin and for Baylor. Again, just kind of it's a relatively open Big 12. Like TCU is probably still the favorite, but again, you have a lot of roster turnover with them again. Mm-hmm. And Iowa State, like you go and add Jada Williams, like that is not that is a genuine factor to go and add her from the portal to replace Emily Ryan. But we saw how that went last year, and that was the expectations were so high, and that did not work out. And then you kind of round out the top 4 with Oklahoma State, who is stable, but obviously hasn't been able to kind of take that leap in that way, even though it was a pretty tight Big 12 race last year. So to me, Baylor, like it feels, obviously you want to win, but it feels like program importance wise, genuinely massive to try and have a relatively dominant Big 12 season this year.
Not really, because it seems like nobody cares. Like we seem to be the only people like, hey, why are you doing better? Like I believed in you, once upon a time, but it's like nobody is really. That's what I'm saying. Like negative motion. Like what happened?
It's almost worse that nobody's talking about it. Is it?
Yes, that is indicative of where you are right now. So it's like if you win it all, it's like, oh, okay, cool. But if you lose, it's still just like who, and that to me is kind of the fact that they were the ones that were chosen to go to France, that's an interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how all that like, you know,
I could have made up a better matchup. We could have had a media game in Paris.
Hey, Cal Vandy was a better matchup than that one.
Hey, shout out Sakima.
Yeah. Come on now. Post player you. Joe said just let Husky Stadium go dogs.
Come on.
We're back. We're back, Joe. Joe's ready to push the Washington agendas. Thank you for the super chat. Again, super chats gets your comments on screen. Yeah, Duke. Look, you were able to see Duke in person a decent amount, like in the postseason and whatnot.
And I like them. It did get kind of wicked though. Like that Duke UNC stuff, I didn't like it. My eyes weren't really happy. Yeah. But it was kind of like, okay. Yeah, I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, Duke UNC is like the worst we have to offer as a nation, as an export. Like I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, that's no, never mind. Yeah, no, it's just like
I agree.
Duke doesn't even play. It's not even like fun defensive basketball.
Right.
Like because the offense is so frustrating, like I can't even like enjoy, because obviously they are good defense. Like that is how they still win games. It's like they are capable defensively. And like I can't even like it's not appetizing at all to like I can't digest the defensive success because of how bad the offense can be. And it's been like this for years now. Like we keep and we're like, okay, well, Toby Fournier, now we give her the ball. It's her time. Like you go and get like one of those top recruits. And she was the only player in double figures today with 16. But you go 5 of 15. Like it wasn't the dominance that you needed in that manner. And I don't really blame her for that. It's just everything else. We keep doing this.
And that's the thing though, because like Duke, South Carolina is the coach of the future. So she got to figure something out because it's just not translating. Like, but like what I saw in that Duke Carolina game in Birmingham, I'm like, she the one.
That's what's weird.
She's the one. Like, and you just go get some pieces, man. That's what I was saying. Like, they are one like bucket getter away from being.
I think the hope was that Fournier would be that, frankly, for them.
But she's not putting her in positions to be that.
Well, like, and that's a whole nother aspect of the conversation that I don't disagree with by any means. And that's
So it's like last year, I get it, she a freshman, but I'm kind of like, why would you then wait until tournament time, Sweet 16 to be exact, to then want to riot your freshman in big minutes? Like, I don't know, man. Like that sounds counterproductive to me.
Yeah.
But I believe in Kara and I think she's a good coach. So I kind of want her to like get it together sooner rather than later, because I don't like hearing her be discussed like this. Like she's a war criminal. That's crazy.
Well, yeah, no, it's I just
they was playing Guantanamo
it feels like they need an offensive coordinator. Like she can handle everything else. She can still call the defense, but it is really weird, honestly, like to see I feel like you just don't, it's not as often, like you see like bad defensive teams that can really like score the ball, but like just the flip of that I feel like doesn't happen as often. And brother, it's bad. Like it's not good. Like I don't enjoy it. Quick hits though, before we get to your game that you got to attend. Michaela Blake's helped Vanderbilt come back through, anchor down.
Give me Blake stock. Give me Blake stock.
Played all 40 minutes, 27 points, 9 of 27 shooting. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey,
get them shots up, big dog. You ain't gonna hear a single complaint from me all year on that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't care about efficiency in college basketball. Put that thing up. And keep putting it up. I do not care.
Yeah.
Like I was on Maine because, as everybody knows, my account has been it's in the crypto world. I was looking on Maine and I was arguing about it. They was like, "Hey, take that back to the W. We don't care. We got money to make over here." I was like, "Oh, whoa."
No, but like on Vandy, and Vandy has other players. Like, don't get me wrong, they're not like a bad team, top to bottom by any means. But like,
no, but the person was like, "They're not even supposed to be in these conversations, bro. Like, let them cook." And I agree. And like Joe, we've been 10 toes down about Vandy. The Vandy stock has always been in our pocket, and now we get to ride it to the moon. I love it.
Yeah, and go and beat like a genuinely good California team that is on the rise, just generally speaking, with the program and everything, and had to come back in it to win it. Vanderbilt is an interesting team because I think a lot of what their potential success can be relies on a couple swings they took in the transfer portal to try and replace Camille Pierre. Obviously, that is such a massive loss to lose Pierre. But Moen and Tonda from Texas and Del Rosario from LSU are two bigs that like have SEC experience, haven't really gotten like the minutes to like go after it and kind of like show that growth. And now I didn't get a ton of minutes from Del Rosario, only 6, but Moen and Tonda only got 15 as well. So like it wasn't a game for them.
Her more than Del Rosario.
I agree, and she's starting. Like I think Vandy agrees as well.
Yeah, because I got to put eyes on her in Birmingham, and she was cooking.
She's legit. Yeah, no,
and it was like to a point where I was kind of like, "Hey, Vic," because that's another one whose offense be a little like anemic at times, and it's like, swing for the fences. I don't care. Like use them all up, use all the fouls, do what you got to do. Like in those kind of moments, you got to go down swinging. So I trust like she'll be able to fill a gap. Del Rosario, I hope they can develop her because she like you can't teach that kind of size. Like that's just she's a commodity just in and of herself.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened at LSU that where she didn't pan out the way they thought she would, but hopefully Vandy can make something shake with it because they need it. They need her. They need everybody. They need all hands on deck. They need anchors down.
I like that. All hands on deck. I like for Vandy. That's a bar. Yeah, no, like Michaela Blakes is going to win you games on her own against a lot of teams, but in the SEC, it's going to get wicked at times. Especially against the top of the SEC. So like you're going to need some of those bigs, especially to come through and help. And then I think the other game I really want to highlight here is Penn State, Shawnee.
Oh yeah,
Penn State. Let's talk. We got a dynamic duo in Penn State that is. I'm not saying like they're gonna go on some crazy deep tournament run or anything, but I feel confident that this team, if they stay heads on the shoulders, this team is gonna pull off an upset or two in conference play, and I'm excited for it. Kiyomi McMiller and Gracie Merkel. 27 points from McMiller, 24 points from Merkel. If Merkel has already been solid. And so to add Kiyomi McMiller to this after whatever the hell was happening last year, Lord knows, frankly, in truth. But you end up at a place at Penn State that I think having another player like with Merkel that you could be a duo with in theory would I would like to think help the situation. And have it be more of like a 1-2 punch in that way. But I'm just excited to see Kiyomi McMiller hoops. And like I want to see Kiyomi McMiller hoops because she's an absolute star on the court. And Bucky get her 12 of 20 tonight, 60% for 27 points with 6 assists and 4 steals, I might add, as well. So I'm ready. I'm ready, Shawnee. I'm here.
Hey, when in doubt, crash out. Because it works. It works because that's the only efficiency I care about. Kiyomi McMiller efficiency. Like then I'm all in. We gotta talk about it.
Yeah.
Cooking. I just hope to see like Penn State. I hate Big Ten Network. It feels so oppressive. Like I want to see free to games. So I mean, hopefully like Penn State can get a matchup somewhere here or there that we can actually see them. Because I love kooky guards that just. You know, the volatile guards that can just cook while also making everyone nervous on social media. Like those.
I wonder if there's any you could think of in women's basketball. I don't know who it would be.
Alexis Morris, we speak your name.
Okay, this is interesting here, Shawnee. Before we're certainly going to dive into South Carolina. I'll just bring this up on the stage here. Kiki Rice not starting tonight at point guard. Coming off the bench is Kiki Rice for Charlize Legger-Walker. So it's Neepkins, CLW, Jaquez, Dugalich, and Lauren Betts. That's a big lineup.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what do we do?
Wow.
Corey, what you cooking over there? It stinks.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see that just generally. I mean, obviously they're stacked with talent, so like you can like get away with it if you will. Like, but shoulder surgery. Okay, so
Tiki had. Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're not jumping
Right.
off the ledge yet. Okay. You're right.
Because I was about to say, like, that don't even like.
Yeah, I was confused.
That don't make sense. So there had to be something. Yeah, okay. Because that was gonna be my next question. Is she hurt? She's sick.
Well, with that, Shawnee, your game. I already have. I'm not gonna lie. I already had I had like a 10-minute therapy session, vent session about Oklahoma today. I hope your day went better. I assume that it did, based on your dancing and based on the fact that the score was 94-54 for South Carolina to beat Grand Canyon. Your thoughts just in general, Shawnee? I'll let you call the ISO here as South Carolina begins their NCAA season.
First off, go to home field, get you some merch. Because look at this, look at the quality, look at that. You see the details.
I have that jacket too. It's fire.
Yeah. Ooh, it's cold and it's warm and it's cozy and the pockets are really big and they have that clear bag policy, but I didn't need it because I could just use my pockets. Anywho, I feel like every single year, not every single year, but like the last few years, we've been like, it's a rebuild, and then we mess around and be in the natty. And I feel like this year's no different. So I'll see you guys in the national championship game. We'll see who's playing us, who's lining it up. Same bet. I put it on my team every time. But yeah, I'll see y'all in the natty. It's definitely a rebuild year. Like there's no doubt about it. Like Dawn couldn't even do her hockey lineups because like we only have like 10 players.
Yeah.
So it's like it gets
the injuries. It like losing Chloe and not the injury, but losing Ashlyn like is massive.
And it shows because now we do not have this team is built for speed and for finesse and not the usual power that we've had. So it's like I was telling my dad, I was like, the good news is we've had more shooters than ever before. There's a plethora of perimeter players, and the odds of them all going cold at the same time are very unlikely. So it's like that kind of like puts me at ease. Like we got a bunch of people that can go get and create their own shot and look comfortable around the perimeter to make up for not having that like super, super dominant interior presence. Medina, I like Medina though. I like I was seeing some stuff and I was like, hey, now once we start getting into a rhythm, we could have a dominant big by the end of the season. Let's talk about it. But yeah, no, there's going to be some growing pains. It's going to happen. I'm just preparing myself for that now. But like, again, Tessa and them's freshman year, I said that, and then we go undefeated and win a national championship. So it's kind of like, again, I'm always bracing myself for like the inevitable. And then sometimes it just don't happen.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But, for right now, I'm calling it a rebuild while also saying see y'all in the natty.
Somehow you can do that when you're talking about South Carolina. That is the spoils over there. I didn't I was at the Oklahoma game covering it when you were at South Carolina. So I didn't get to get eyes, so I'm kind of box score watching here. But Raven Johnson hitting threes. Are we buying or selling?
Oh, we're buying. She's very like intentional about. I said it in the chat. I've seen enough. Raven Johnson scoring title. Let's do it.
Because notably the lowest scoring starter in this game. But pop off.
I don't care.
React calmly.
No, we're coming for it. We're winning. This is just a warm up. But no, like her hunting her shot and actually being aggressive on offense, that's going to pay dividends. Like that's something we've kind of wanted to see the last couple of years. And it's like, we know she's a great floor general. We know she's a great distributor. We know she settles, but we do need her to score. And especially like now with Chloe out, we need her to score even more. So, she's got to be that stabilizing presence, not just in her facilitating, but in her scoring. And so to see her come out and like go for it, I'm like, we're going for the scoring title. Like there's nothing more that can be said. Like, sorry, Tania, but like she's breaking some sort of
Yeah, no, I mean, I think to your point, I don't know if South Carolina can afford a player that like people can sag off of this year.
Right.
And so again, not that you have to go and, go shoot crazy or anything and, go stupid and be the leading scorer, but like,
why not?
Shooting 3 of 5 like is tonight, and if that becomes the trend, if you will, and like that becomes what you're able to get from her, will be massive. And just in helping space the floor out for the rest of this offense. As you mentioned, it's going to look very different, and notably, I don't know if there's ever been a time where like truly a guard has led South Carolina, like in Dawn's time there, like in a way that we're about to see with Tania Latson. Like, so this is going to be, I'm just intrigued. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Punch where,
and
Aaliyah or
right.
like Alicia Gray and
right.
Yeah, so
but they've always been the two. In that.
Like a Batman Robin type.
Yeah, and it felt like that, like very, very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see how Joyce kind of progress over the course of this season. Like, I think that's certainly the top contender kind of to be, that big for South Carolina this year, and potentially
you look more comfortable on the perimeter than me.
Well, and so yeah, and that's a part of that could potentially happen here. Like,
she might be a 3. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. Joyce is one of the players I think I'm most excited to see. And it's not there's not really a right or wrong answer, like initially, at least, on like how she gets hers or anything like within this offense. But I'm just intrigued to see where she finds herself most comfortable, because she's just going to be asked to do so much more over the course of this season. But like, obviously Tania is someone that we've been very familiar with her time at Florida State. She's been on the show a couple times. But like for you, your first time getting eyes on Tania Latson at South Carolina, what was the vibe?
Her and Tessa, like the T-squared backcourt, very potent. Love that. Yeah. So and it's like, again, having a prolific guard to score.
Yeah.
It's like we would see like flashes with Malaysia coming off the bench and she could go crazy. Mm-hmm. But like somebody that we're like start to finish, the expectation is, score that thing.
Yeah.
This is going to be exciting. Mm-hmm. So I'm a fan. It's going to help. But again, especially if everyone else looks aggressive and looks like they can create their own shot and everyone is locked in on defense, rebounding is going to be just pray for us, man, because I'm seeing it already, and it was against Grand Canyon, so it's gonna be wicked in the SEC. So it's like you're gonna have to hit shots because we're not gonna get rebounds.
Yeah,
that's the time when I care about efficiency.
Again, I'm doing a lot of box score watching here, but South Carolina wins the rebound margin, but 38-31 is not. Again, against Grand Canyon, like it's not exactly the most like especially again, it's maybe it's harsh to have other South Carolina teams in mind and other like just with the way that they've built. This is going to be such a different team, but goodness gracious, this is going to be a very different team in South Carolina and how that this team is going to beat you. It's not inherently a wrong thing or a bad thing. It's just going to be very, very, very different.
If we beat you at all, I don't know. Because, again, this is all, like, I think Grand Canyon, I don't know what conference they're in, but they are now my favorites to win whatever conference. Who are they in the WAC? Like, who are they playing? Gonzaga or something? Like,
I believe they're in the Mountain West. They're in the Mountain West.
Mountain West? Is that Gonzaga too?
No. Well, it might. No. Gonzaga's the West Coast Conference. I had to do a conference realignment, like brain check.
Oh, so
they're not full. Grand Canyon isn't fully west. Like they're not all the way on the coast, so they are in the Mountain West.
Okay. Well, I let them to win the the Mountain West. I like Chloe, man. She was balling. She got some handles. Sophomore, like they got some pieces. I was like, all right, Winston, I see you, dog. I see you.
Yeah.
They was getting some foul calls. I said, ooh. Foul trouble. I said, wait a minute now.
Come on now.
Wait a minute now. But and it's just kind of like still seeing that and seeing some of the ways we struggled. I was like, yeah, we're in a rebuild. We'll and I said this in the chat, like they might still like rattle off 25 straight. So it's like you say that, and again, we look up.
That's the South Carolina experience. Like there's been how many rebuilds over the past 5 years that have ended in national championship appearance. You know, like that. Like we've been here before, and that's like at this point, like I'm done equating a rebuild to a quote unquote bad season at this point.
Right,
like, it could happen, but like I'm those aren't the same thing at this point anymore for South.
Yeah, so it's like if it does happen, I'm like rebuild. I mean,
you've been spoiled.
If
like
it doesn't happen. Rebuild.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so I was like,
wait, this is a funny comment. You know, it's an SEC fan when they're talking quality losses after one game.
It just means more.
It wasn't even a loss, and it's still a quality one. It's still a quality hypothetical.
It just means, look, it was a moral loss, guys.
You don't understand. If Oklahoma lost that game today, the way I was about to pivot into Belmont being like national championship favorites, it was gonna get wicked.
Hey, how many points my dog 2D have?
You know what's crazy? 0. Oh. Like Oklahoma actually did a really good job of like shutting her down, and then you had just snipers across just everywhere else. I was like, I literally had to check the box. I saw the scoreboard because I'm like, how much does she have? Like once this game like really like tightened up, and then I was like 0. Like there's no way like this game is like that close, and like I knew she hadn't done like anything crazy, but like no way she has 0. And then I went and checked other places for the box score, and it all said 0, and I couldn't believe it. It was a night. It was a night. In Norman.
That was my all right. Well, that was my connection to Baylor. Like I'm at Belmont. Like that's I'm a Belmont. I've been in the trenches with Belmont, watching them in Destiny, and like now getting locked up. I don't know what to do about that. But shout out to Belmont.
Look, national championship contenders, quality resume building win. I think the only other game I have pulled up here box score wise is Iowa. You know, we had to check in with Big Jan. Ava Hayden, who I see in the comments as well, talking about it. I got to see her during the NCAA tournament last year as a freshman. I think she's 6'4", I believe. Yeah, 6'4". Against Southern tonight, 21-14 against Southern, and Big Stolk had 20 and 9. I'm ready to see with big Hannah Stolke. I'm ready. She was also Stolke, notably 1 of 3 from 3. We're expanding the range, baby. We're expanding the range. I'm excited for it.
Speaking of rebuilds, the great Iowa rebuild.
Yeah, like no, I mean, they got a couple young players that I'm interested by, but the recruits they got coming in like next year and the year after, that's when it gets real crazy. But yeah, I'm excited to see if Hannah Stolke now really. Because even last year, like you have like the bridge year with Lucy Olson from Caitlin, and now this is Stolke is officially like no doubt 1A like on this team, and I'm very intrigued by how that game.
We got lottery pick dreams, dog. Let's roll.
Look, come on now, we here. I will say, and this is not anything larger than like specifically this play, okay. But like that I'm making this comparison to. So let me preface that when I say what I'm about to say. That has to do with Stolke. Look, the legendary 4 verts from Caitlin to Stolke. Okay, like that play. That's all I'm comparing here is that play. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Like I'm really heavily prefacing this because I'm not comparing Aaliyah Chavez to Caitlin Clark.
Chill out. That's
but
stay calm.
There was a couple plays Aaliyah Chavez had where she was throwing the 4 verts, and I was like, hold on now. And specifically, there's another freshman on this team who I've heard a lot of good things about, Brooklyn Stewart. She didn't get to play a ton tonight, but she runs the court like hell, and she's like another like power forward type. I'm ready for 4 verts in Norman is what I'm getting at, and like I'm ready to see that for a long time.
So truthfully, like I don't know why people don't run 4 verts. Like Caitlin had the blueprint, and it's like not a lot of people can pass like Caitlin, but like at least try. Like,
yeah, no, there was a couple tonight where I was like, oh, don't pass that. You made it, you know, and like that's what made me like take the jump from like, oh, this is a good outlet passes to, oh wait, this feels like this is like a skilled thing that is happening, because there was a couple that got through the windows that Prime Palomalo was supposed to pick off, you know, and like instead they made it through the windows there. So I was like, so I'm putting eye emojis on Aaliyah Chavez 4 verts is what I'm getting at. That's where that's one of the only good things I have to say. And, that's all I got. Shawnee, is your heart and mind clear? There you go. All right, lay the land, people. We got a lot of stuff coming your way this week. Tomorrow, I believe, Sarah Williams UConn interview drops here on the YouTube tomorrow morning before UConn plays tomorrow. And after UConn plays tomorrow, after Tennessee and NC State play tomorrow, NC State play tomorrow, we'll be live here with the post game after that.
Really? This is news to me.
I'll be here. If nobody else will, I'll be here.
I'm finding out some stuff. Yeah, we starting this season. Yeah, but like lock in with us because the Allied tip-off is this weekend. USC versus NC State. We will have boots on the ground. So make sure, like, yeah, we getting full swing.
Straight to it.
You know, this post game is news to me, but everything else is not. We're getting in the rhythm.
There you go. So we'll have that for you this weekend. We'll have boots. We'll have post game tomorrow. We'll have a Sarah Williams luxury tax interview dropping tomorrow. We'll have ball top at some point this week. We're getting back to the swing of things. You know, there's a whole lot going on. But more than anything, the prevailing point is that you got to subscribe and be locked in to be notified every time we go live, every time we drop a video. I just dropped a video today on the path for Hannah Hidalgo to win National Player of the Year by comparing it to a certain 2016-2017 NBA MVP whose star player also left. But, you know, so you can go check that out here on the YouTube channel. Yeah, yeah. There's a correlation. We went into some basketball lore for that one, so check that out here on the channel. 5 Out also just dropped today on NoCapSpaceWBB.com. Andrew's weekly column, the best column in women's basketball. So make sure you tap in with that. NoCapSpaceWBB.com. You can find the links for quite literally everything down below at the description. And last but not least, of course, tap in with our friends at Home Fuel, where you can use code NOCAP15 to get 15% off your merchandise. You can find the No Cap Space collection below, where we curated, personally handpicked ourselves all the best women's basketball merch across the site. And I promise you, there's a whole lot of good stuff. So make sure you subscribe here, become a YouTube member if you want to join the Discord chat and be able to chat it up with this all the time as we're talking and having discourse about women's basketball. And until tomorrow, we'll talk to you very soon.